Good day, everybody, or good evening. Good evening, Canada. Just getting to learn how to use this new technology for me. This is the first time I've gone live on YouTube. And hopefully everything turns out fairly well. My name is Leslie Bory. I'm the leader of the Labour First Party of Canada. We're a new political party. We put Labour first, right? Because everything in Canada that we'll ever need comes from labor, and hopefully Canadian labor in the future. Right now we have free trade and it's killing our industries and our manufacturing base, and we hope to use price controls in the future to encourage businesses to stay in Canada and encourage people to start up businesses. We don't want to be like Mr. Trump, however. We don't want to put tariffs on everything, because what happens then is the prices of everything goes up. All right, so I'm going to try and get this speech up by our political opponent, Mr. Poilievre, and we'll see if I can share a screen here. There we go, share screen. All right, let's see if I can do this. Okay. There we go. All right, good. So in a few minutes, I'll just try to on fairly shortly, and I'll just I'll see what I can when I don't have so many taking up memory, slowing down the operation of this computer. So I understand that is important, right? So I'll learn this technology as we go, my friend. It's about time to learn how to do. Let's see. Oh, good. There we go. We're back. Okay. So we'll see how that goes. So you should be speaking fairly shortly, and then I'll make some commentaries as we go. All this new technology for me is a real interesting thing. I'll tell you that, folks. It's a great way to talk to you Canadians. And it'll be even better once I learn how to navigate this system here. I've got another computer as well, but I don't know how to share a screen on that. I've been trying and I haven't been successful. So let's go back and let's see if these. Okay, there's the preview screen. Hopefully that's a live deal there, so we don't miss any of this. Not that I expect anything earth-shattering to come out of Mr. Poilievre's mouth. He's definitely done a lot of harm to Canada in his political career. There's no doubt about that. In his days when he used to work with Mr. Stephen Harper, they did a few greasy things. And one of them was allowing the communist Chinese to buy into our oil industry out west. And that was a terrible thing. You should never, ever let communists or any other nation, but for that matter, to buy into your strategic oil reserve. Being in partnership with people is one thing, where they share their technology with you, and you might give them a benefit for a while, but you should never give them ownership of your natural resources or the rights to them anyhow. That's just the wrong-headed thing to do. I'm a real nationalist, and I put my nation first. And the last thing we want communist China doing is coming over here to buy up our resources, like permanently. But it's only permanent as long as you keep electing people like Mr. Poilievre, Mr. Harper, Mr. Chrétien, Mr. Trudeau, or Mr. Carney. These guys are really not Canadians, if you ask me. Okay, I think we're going in here, so let's see what happens. The screen, which you might be able to. So we'll see what we've got going here. It's supposed to be live, but like I said, it might be choppy. So we'll see. I'm not sure if we're looking at it all live, right? Because I don't see any movement. I just see inches, right? And no, I don't think it's going to be that. Yeah, oh, someone's resting their eyes, it looks like. You might want to keep resting your eyes. I don't think you're going to miss much. Oh, I hear some sounds here, so let's see what's going on. I'm going to close this one. So I've only got two windows open, the bandwidth processing two on this computer. Now we've got some CBC commentators speaking. I apologize for that, everyone. Hopefully when this plays back, it's a little smoother, but I'm not sure if it will be. I'll just pause that for now. He's not on there yet. Basically, I spent some time in prison because I opposed the government's vaccine mandates. And those vaccines turned out to have killed a lot of people in Canada. And that Emergency Act was deemed to be illegal. But unfortunately, despite the fact that that was illegal, people go to jail just for disagreeing with history for a couple of years, right? Which is completely wrong-headed in Canada because we should have the freedom to speak our minds. Mr. Poilievre's party introduced that law, by the way, and it was in cooperation with Justin Trudeau's government that that law was passed, right? And all the parties voted pretty much unanimously to pass that law, which is totally wrong. But the point I'm making here, besides that being wrong, is that no one's gone to jail for these vaccine mandates and the harm that they've done. And the police haven't gone to jail, the judges haven't gone to jail, the current prosecutors haven't gone to jail, and the politicians haven't gone to jail, and neither have the influencers, all right? So if you elect me to be your prime minister, apart from fixing your economy so that you can actually live well, we're going to bring these people to justice. And if you ask me, they should be allowed to reoffend again, all right? So let's go back to this and see if we've got ourselves a speech yet, or if we're going to have to listen to these commentators speak some more. So we'll see. And again, I apologize for the, the choppy presentation here. I do have a more updated computer, but I just don't even know how to use it that well yet. So we're working on that. Yeah. All right. So I'll just turn the sound down for a while. If you want to hear some things that we're offering to give to Canadians, obviously Canadians are going to have to earn this for themselves. So we're just going to steer the boat, and basically Canadians are going to have to do the paddle because they're going to do the labor to make these things happen. There is no free ride, even in politics. At the most, they'll just have to put a name on a ballot or an X in the right place on a ballot to make us representation of theirs, to make us an extension of their will. It isn't very hard to do that, but we have to convince people to do that. And some Canadians are going to have to step up a little further and become members of this party so that we can register as an official party. That doesn't mean that we can't win an election without being registered, but it seems to give people a bit more confidence. We're registered under Elections Canada's list of registered official parties to offer people a change. And on the ballot, we'd like to have our party name on there as well. In the past, I've run a number of federal elections. I've been in 8 federal elections as an independent candidate. And I've also been in 2 provincial elections. But what I recommend that we do in Canada for the most part is to replace taxation with a labor-backed currency to fund the civil service. And what that means is that since labor is worth far more than gold, labor should be used to back the creation of currency to pay for the civil service. It's a simple thing. The Germans did that a long time ago. They've been vilified for a long time because the bankers don't want people to look at them in a positive light, right? So the civil service would just do their jobs and put in their timesheets at the end of the week, and then the paymaster will pay them with Canadian checks, and those checks issued by the representation that you elect will become money. And it's a sure better way to do it than to go into these bankers when we always have a deficit. And the bankers print the money out of thin air anyhow. Why would we allow them to do that? And furthermore, what the bankers do is they charge interest on that money that no one's ever created. So that means there's always more debt than money in our system, right? Because say if you borrow $100 from the bank, and that's all that's ever been created in the world, and it's only you in Canada, and you pay back that $100. The thing is, you're not out of debt yet because the banker wants $200, and the second 100 hasn't been printed. It's a simple matter, okay? It's just really easy. To fix our economy is pretty much child's play. The problem is that the bankers like to kill the people that try to initiate these changes, and the Canadian people are lucky to have a person like me and anybody in my party who's going to try to make this change, because it is the most dangerous move in politics, but it's also the most beneficial move. And the Canadian people, if they want to work for it, they should have this change. And I'll gladly put my life on the line for the Canadian people to do this. I'm not in a hurry to die. But this is a life-altering policy change for the Canadian people. And also, we'd be an example to the world. They'd see how well we're living, and then they want to live the same way. To have the finest services that the most valuable money in the world can provide is a good thing without even having to pay tax. And that's what the Canadian people end up doing. So the benefits are so much better than what any of these politicians could even possibly ask you, because right now what they're doing is they're participating in this evil interest charging banking system that always guarantees the certainty of failure, which means that foreclosure is always a certainty over time. Because if the banks stop printing money, people won't be able to maintain their payments because there's never enough money in the system to pay all the debts. So if we decided to stop printing money, it would throw us into a depression or a recession, and then the foreclosures would start. And what Mr. Poilievre said in the past was that he said that too much money was printed at too cheap an interest rate. He claims that too much money in the system devalued the currency. And his solution for that was to raise interest rates so that people couldn't borrow as much money. The problem with that is that if you raise interest rates, it makes the unpayable debt even greater. You see, it's not printing money that devalues currency, it's printing debt. So every time a dollar with interest is created, a dollar enters the economy, but the bankers want to take that dollar back out, plus more money from our economy that's never even been printed. So other people's principal will be stripped out of the economy, leaving them without enough money to even pay back the basic principal that they borrowed. So it's completely wrong. It's beyond criminal. It's completely evil. And that's why the bankers want to impose this system all over the world. And they fight wars, or they create wars to force nations to accept this system that they have, because it enslaves the world in the manner I just spoke to you about. Basically, it means that the entire world is indebted to bankers, and the debt can never really be paid in full. So it creates conflicts that way. It creates conflicts between nations, and it creates conflicts between people in their nations trying to fight over all this lack of currency to pay back their debts. It's totally evil. And just because of the passing of time, the interest burden increases, which means more and more of your tax dollars are diverted into the bankers' pockets instead of being in your pocket as a worker. So when you devalue the worker's currency because of the inflation, because your paycheck won't get you what it got you today, right? Because the interest rates increased over time, as interest rates do. It's always interest is charged over time. So basically that means that your weekly paycheck stops getting you what it got you the week before. And that's the true measure of interest, not how many dollars are chasing how many goods. That's silly. That's just terrible stuff, So we'll see what Mr. Poilievre suggests. Basically, he's not going to suggest ending this system. I highly doubt it. I haven't heard him speak about that yet. Basically, the only thing I've heard Mr. Poilievre say was he needs to raise interest rates. And that's pretty much it. So it's not very good. So I hope he gets on with this sometime, because I didn't really plan on saying much to you today. I was just going to comment on what he said. So I hope you're enjoying the broadcast tonight. I don't know how many people are watching. Maybe I'll see if I can... I don't even know if anybody's watching. I can't really see. Oh, there's a couple of comments already. Oh, thank you very much. Oh my. My eyes aren't so good. Mr. Christopher Lair, 2742 says, Mr. Bory, you have my vote, sir. Well, thank you very much. Someone says, long live Les Bory. It's Fina Koob 8752. Well, thank you very much. That's really nice of you. This is my first live broadcast, everyone. I'm just kind of struggling my way through this. I'll be dragging my knuckles through the live broadcast. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm really enjoying your comments. What a positive start. Thank you very much, everyone. You guys are fantastic. I love my people. And I also love the American people, the good ones. And we're going to be great neighbors to the American people once I become the Prime Minister of Canada. I'm pretty certain it's going to happen. I'm the best politician by far just because I'm willing to do what other people are afraid to do, just don't want to do. And that's the thing. You have to really do dangerous things in this world. It seems just to be decent. It's unbelievable what's going on. Okay, this is unreal. And one thing for sure is that we stop paying money. Now, what's going to happen is that print the money. You actually, if you print it with debt, you always increase the debt, and it's not a good thing. That's what causes inflation. You know what I mean? So, in an economy where you always have more debt than money, basically you can't print too much money because you'll never print enough to pay the debt. It's impossible. And that basically the opposite of what Mr. Pierre Poilievre says. He basically says that too much printed, really too much debt has been printed. That's what's causing our inflation. So his solution of raising interest rates is absolutely terrible. It's off the chart terrible. This guy should be in prison just for the monetary policies he's trying to implement or to carry on with. All right. So the solution is basically to tell the Israeli bankers that they're no longer in business, especially the fact that they're genociding people in Israel and doing all kinds of unspeakable things to those poor Palestinian people, which we won't get into. Basically, that's a great reason. Only the fact that the debt is unpayable, you'd think would be a reason not to pay it back. To just tell them to go pound rocks, as people say, right? Because if there's always money, then there's no way you could pay it back. It shouldn't even be a legal thing, right? And never mind the fact that the generational debt, it's passed down through generations, like from father to son to grandson to whatever. You just can't possibly pay it back. You can't expect the debt from your ancestors to be your burden in the future. That's just so terrible. And that's the thing. So there's three good reasons not to pay it back. The fact that it can't be paid back, the fact that it's a generational debt, and also the fact that the bankers themselves are off the charts evil, and they're doing terrible things to people in Palestine. And their mandate, I'm on conditions because of my convictions for my speech violations, thanks to this COVID situation. I wouldn't even have been half as aggressive if my people were being killed. Pardon me, I use words to try and stop the killing, right? So I can't really express myself fully. When I become the prime minister, you'll be able to say anything you want about anybody. And you try to keep it real, because when people tell things that aren't true, say things like that, you lose credibility. Unfortunately for us, just evil that we don't need to. That's the thing. The last thing we want to do is embellish things and lose credibility, and that's it. You know what I mean? So in the future, you're going to be able to speak your mind. And like I said, I didn't really line up to say tonight. I'm just speaking off the top of my head, cold and be. And so I could probably present a more polished presentation if I line up a few points. Basically, all I'm here to do is to comment on this talk of Mr. Poilievre's. And I got to say, I'm really encouraged. Like 2 people commenting so far, it was really nice. And I hope to be a good leader in this country in the future, like I will be. But I hope an elected one, so I can be effective of the will of the people of this nation. The people of this nation don't want to be in an unpayable debt, I think, right? And the people of this nation don't want to have to divert more and more of their paychecks just to bankers, just because of the passing of time, instead of just truly borrowing money. You see, when you borrow money interest-free, it's the same as paying cash over time. And that would save the Canadians a lot of money. Plus, it would stop interest in its tracks on money that's created, like on all money in the system. Because if you go to the bank and get a loan out for $100 and there's interest on it, say 6.5% or whatever, no, just any interest, I'll actually tell you the truth. If you walk out of the bank and you come back in like a moment later, basically that value of that check won't pay for itself. You can't just give back. It's already depreciated. And you can't depreciate $1 without depreciating all the dollars because they're all the same. You see, that's basically the basis of inflation when it comes to interest. Another good example is if you go to buy a house. if you pay cash, the house costs you what it costs you. But if you have to pay interest on that house, basically you don't even know what this is going to cost you because of fluctuating interest rate over time. Generally, pardon the beep there, but we've got a smoke detector that's wired in. I can't do much about it. I had to reset it before the broadcast as it buys some time, so I don't sound like I'm on World Star Hip Hop or something like that. And hey, I don't mind the World Star Hip Hop vote. You know, we're here for all people as well. We're trying to stop the white genocide, but we're also trying to help all people because us white folks are really nice people. And if they dispose of us, the only people that have ever gotten rid of the banker types, we'll call them, basically what's going to happen is the rest of humanity is going to perish because no one else is going to defend them. Unfortunately, there's shame right now. We've been shamed about all kinds of things in history, and that's one of the reasons we're not allowed to discuss certain things in history. That's used to shame the people to give the opponents an advantage over people while they're wallowing in their shame. They're allowing the enemy basically to walk over humanity when the white people should be defending all the people in the world, you know, and with the help of them as well. So we encourage help from all different races in Canada. We're definitely going to give white people equal rights in Canada. Nothing's just equal rights. White people will see that as a huge improvement over what's going on right now. People won't be paid to replace them. They won't be brought here from other countries just for the reason of replacing them. A lot of people that come from other nations are very, and I'm happy to talk to them at the door, and I always appreciate their help. And they won't be betrayed. Anyone that joins our party is going to be in our party, and they'll be protected just because they helped Canada at a time that we're the most desperate. This is a pretty desperate time with what's being planned to be perpetrated against the people. It might make COVID look like a church picnic, we'll say. All right, so we're definitely here to save the white race, but as a benefit to other races, they're going to be protected by the people of Canada, and we're going to support a lot of people as well. It won't be just racially split, that's for sure. All right, so see how that works out, and I think it's going to work out real well. Because in the past, we had a high trust, low violence society. We want to bring that back. We also want prosperity and economic freedom for everyone and safety for people. You know, that's the thing. Freedom and prosperity are two very important tenets for the Western culture. And Western culture was based on these things. Not everyone came here to escape from communism. My parents escaped from communism, went to Switzerland. They're safe there, but they found that the cost of living was too high in Switzerland. They did like the culture, however, though, because the culture was one that was very proper. They did have a high trust, low violence society there. They came to Canada for economic prosperity. It's like a hobby, but they're definitely, you know, with the program race, that's a wonderful deal. And also people will benefit, anyone that helps us. We're that kind of people in this party, all right? And I talk to a lot of folks that are pretty much white first, and you know, they're down with the program. They do help everybody because they are good people. I'm just reloading this thing because it looks like we lost our link to the Conservative Party convention. So we'll see if it comes back up. It might be a bandwidth issue. I'm not too sure. Thing here and see if we got any more comments. We do. It's you're doing great. Well, thanks very much, Fiona Coop. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Yeah, so I've lost my train of thought a couple times so far. I had a couple of good lined up, but I'll try to keep things going. Let's see now. How about I go through our platform a little bit while we're waiting for Mr. Poilievre. So what I'll do is I'll try to open another screen here and get the Labour First Party platform, and I'll share that screen with you while we're waiting for Mr. Poilievre, and I'll show you what a real platform looks like, in my opinion. And we'll tear through that, and then we'll watch Mr. Poilievre, the professional politician who's been in Canada for a long time and probably made a lot of money off the Canadian people. We'll see him speak his piece. And I don't think it'll be too impressive, but we'll see. You know, I'm prepared to be surprised, but I don't know what he's going to do to make up for all those vaccine murders and things like that, and bringing in the, you know, the law where we can't criticize history, right? That's amazing. And they make us sound like really bad guys if we believe in the illegal version of history. See, there's an illegal version of history and an illegal version of history right now. So here's the platform. I'm going to pull it up, and I'll share the screen with you. It might even be more interesting to listen to Mr. Poilievre. Let's see. He's still not speaking. So let's see. I'll try and get this. Do this, stop sharing, then I'll start sharing again. Hi, there's me again. And let's see, here we go, the platform. Let's see what we got here. All right, here's our labor first party. Now, I know we have equal rights for whites as point number 2, but really, the most important human right in history, or in my opinion, for all of humanity, which includes white people and all others, is interest-free banking, right? And here's what it sounds like on our platform. Basically, it says we'll create the most valuable and anti-inflation interest-free currency in the world, backed by the most precious commodity, which is human labor, to replace taxation to fund the civil service and lending. All right, so there we go. So we'll live in a tax-free society, but we're going to have the most impressive civil service that's going to be backed by the most valuable currency in the world, because it's going to be backed by something that's much more valuable than gold, which is human labor. And if someone asks you about that, or they argue the point, just ask them, say, well, how did the gold get here? Human labor. Have a nice day. Thanks for coming out. Better yet, please join us and help us. We don't need to shame people and send them away with their proverbial tail between their legs. I mean, we're all humans. We think they are. Some people don't think that, but I won't say who it is right now. I don't want to be called racist names, okay? Besides, I'm on probation. I don't think it's breaking the law, but I don't even want to come close to that right now, all right? So that's the thing. And of course, equal rights for whites is our second point, because you see what's going on. People are being paid to replace us in our nation, okay? They're getting brought here, and I saw that one gentleman claim that he makes $82,000 a year as a new Canadian, in refugee benefits, I think it was, right? So that's not a good thing. I've never $1,000 a year as a Canadian. I've worked pretty hard in my life. I was a machinist, and I still didn't make that much money. So that's not a good thing to bring people in to do that, especially when there isn't enough work for everyone. So why would they do that? It's called the clergy plan. The UN has a replacement plan as well. If you see the CBC or the other communist networks, they'll say that we're racist because we're talking about a white replacement. Well, that's the case right now. They're trying to destroy Western society, Western culture, and all Western civilization. And it's not just in North America, it's also in Europe. And like I said before, the Europeans historically were the only ones that really repelled these bankers, although I might be wrong in that. There might have been a couple of Asian nations that took care of that as well. I don't know exactly. But I do know that the Europeans were big on repelling the banker types, we'll call them, okay? So once the white hard shell, the shield is removed from humanity, it's over, and the rest of humanity is just going to fall. It's a terrible thing. We don't want that to happen to the good people out in this world, because not everybody's a maniac. The white people, we got our share of people as well, just that we have a lower percentage of people that usually do things that are off the charts, right? But hey, they're in there as well, right? That's the thing. We're playing the averages. And sorry about the beep, but it seems to have picked up a bit. Now, we're going to use that banking system. Once we take control of the banking system, what happens is when you take control of the printing of currency, you also control the debt, right? So with that new power to control the debt, what we can do is give people debt relief. And later on, there's going to be another point. But right now, we'll just discuss the house prices, right? So we'll reassess house prices and existing mortgages when we Canadians control the bank's debts after nationalization, and we'll cap rents for most residences at $500 per month. And that's most residences. I mean, if you're renting like a big mansion or something like that, yeah, we might, give them a break on that. But for generally speaking, even for homes, if you're renting a home, it'll be $500 a month maximum. After all, if you're renting, why would you be paying someone's mortgage when you could take over the mortgage? It's just silly. It's not a good thing to do. And we're going to reduce the prices of houses using this new economic power that you're going to vote for by hundreds of percent, not just half houses, but some houses I've seen listed for like, $700,000, and they're only $100,000 home. We're going to take it back to about the 90s levels. That way, today's minimum wage coupled with the house prices in the 90s will give people a pretty good standard of living. And might be a little bit better than even living in the 70s or even the 50s. Okay, I think so. So we should be doing very well in the future that way, providing people want to work. If they don't want to work, then that's their problem. But we're going to provide people with work. And if they want to work, they'll live well. And we're going to bring back the prosperous single income family again. This is going to be good. And we're going to use price controls that protect Canadian manufacturers. I mentioned that earlier. So basically, if you want to make a product, you can register with the Canadian government, tell us what it costs to make that product. We'll allow you like a 30% profit rate, and we'll protect your manufactured goods with that at that margin. So whatever it costs you to make it, add 30% on it, and basically that'll be it. That'll be the price cap. Anything coming into Canada that's comparable to what you're making will definitely, make it more expensive, so that it'll make your products more attractive to a Canadian buyer to buy. Now, it'll raise the price of some of these goods in Canada, but these aren't generally the necessities of life. You don't buy a lawnmower every day, right? So you won't have to worry about becoming broke from buying this lawnmower, because you're going to have a lot of disposable income. And instead of paying taxes, it'll be like a voluntary tax for you to pay. And then basically that'll help our economy. It'll help to employ Canadians and not foreigners, but Canadians first, and then foreigners get employed if we need extra help, and then they can become Canadians if they want to be with the program. We don't want to upset our culture with a bunch of conflicting other cultures. Right now what they've done is they've brought a lot of people into Canada from all these different cultures, and they haven't assimilated to our culture, and they've allowed them to stay in their groups, like in their little tribes, we'll call them. And what's going to happen is all these conflicts from the past might flare up here, because once the numbers get to a certain point, it's going to be like these other nations, a lot of the times from third world countries, but not specifically. They're going to start the war with each other almost certainly, right? Because there are religious differences, and it's not just the third world that's susceptible to warfare. Europe's got a terrible history of warfare, and when white people go to war, man, holy smokes, it's like, whoa! It's like, it's really bad, because they're technologically advanced and they can do a lot of damage to each other. And we don't want to see that happen. So having a bunch of different cultures that assimilate together might actually be more beneficial, because it'll be like a glue that holds other people together. You won't have these rivalries outdoing each other. Basically, everybody's going to pull together as a people. That's what we're going to try and do here. All right. But generally speaking, we were built as a white culture, and other people from other countries came here that weren't white, because they enjoyed living with peaceful, decent white people, and they were pretty much the same. It wasn't until they started raising the numbers that we had a lot of issues here. But let's remember one thing. Let's not get too high in the hog here, or get too snooty, because a lot of other white nations that were pretty much homogenous racially, they've torn each other apart just a bit. It's like Ireland did it, just because of religious differences, and all of Europe. I mean, there's a reason why Europe is chopped up into so many different countries. It's because they couldn't get along with each other. It's amazing. So, and even I've read a little bit of Mein Kampf, and in Mein Kampf, even Hitler was lamenting about the Czechoslovakians and other people in Austria-Hungary, right, in the Habsburg Empire. And his idea of racial purity wasn't really skin color. It was actually based on Germanic culture and basically the language. So there's a difference there, right? So in a country like Canada, we can do very well if we assimilate and become Canadian. We all push in the same direction for the same end goals of freedom and prosperity. And I can see that it's going to work. We just have to get rid of some kind of banker types. That's what we'll call them. All right, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so we'll use price controls to protect Canadian manufacturers. And again, I apologize for the beep. I should have took care of that ahead of time. We're going to provide seniors with working wage pensions of $40,000 a year. Basically, that's $20 an hour for a 2,000 hour a year. And basically, seniors are owed that because of their years of service. So we're going to back the currency to pay seniors that money, that $800 a week, with their years of service. It's worth more than gold. So congratulations, seniors. You're going to do very well once you do the right thing and vote for the Labor First Party. It's a simple thing here. This is basically child's play to fix the economy. You just need someone with courage and goodness to do it. And I'll try to be those things to the Canadian people and have those good characteristics, because I want people to live well, and I want to create a good world that I can live in once I'm done, with what I'm doing here. Who knows? Maybe I'll be the prime minister for a long time, maybe to the end of my life if someone kills me. But if they don't, and I get a chance to retire, then I'd like to live in the world that I create. So why not set up a great world that I could enjoy living in too, with a regular working person's wage, right? And that's what I'm going for. If I end my political career and I can't live in the world I've created, then damn, I think I failed really badly. And I'd be ashamed of myself, but that's not going to happen because we're going to do this thing right. The Germans did it. They fixed their economy, and they didn't even have the resources that we have, right? We've got great national resources here, natural resources, pardon me, and we've got a big trading partner in the United States of America. Once they get their act together and they get rid of their Israeli government and they never elect another one, be it a Democratic or a Republican one, and they form a third party, excuse me, they will be the greatest nation on earth. Okay, that's the thing. So they have to, instead of MAGA, they should have mania. Make America not Israel again, and then America's going to be something. Let me tell you, they're not going to be communist anymore. They're totally communist right now. We thought we won the Cold War. Boy, we were partying in 1989 thinking we beat the Russians. Man, we lost that war big time. Okay, it's not just the Russians; it's all international. You saw during COVID that everybody walked in lockstep, and everybody that made their people take vaccines, guess what? They're under communist Zionist control. That's not a good thing. All right, so now we're going to have American-style speech and gun rights and Swiss-style gun rights for members. So we'd like to speak our minds in Canada in the future. We're going to be able to if you make me your prime minister. Although the speech from foreign agents, more namely from Israel, these are lies and these aren't guaranteed under our speech rights. You don't come to Canada as a foreign agent and lie to our people to do us harm. That's where we draw the line. You never do that, okay? When you speak to the Canadian people, you speak truthfully. You don't try to steer them like a Judas goat to slaughter. The Judas goat leads cattle or other goats or sheep or anything. And what happens is the Judas goat kicks out, there's a safety chute, and the other animals keep going to the slaughterhouse. And that's the Judas goat's job is to lead them in the wrong direction. Okay, this is analogies, right? I'm not calling anybody an animal, but some people call us animals, and we're supposed to serve them, and that's not a good thing. All right, I'm against these kind of people, and all. And I got convicted of speech crimes because I complained about these kind of things, and I wasn't allowed to prepare a defense either. It was terrible. So American-style speech rights and gun rights. So you know what that means? It means that if you've got a good mind and you've taken a safety course, you'll be able to own pretty much any kind of firearms you'd like. Now, the Swiss-style gun rights, the Swiss, they have mandatory military service, and those folks can probably bring home some heavier armaments, maybe not just their personal weapons like their rifles and things like that. And since we're such a big country spread far, basically, I recommend that people take a military course, like a short one, because I know people have other lives, right? And we will have a robust military in the future. And once they get qualified and they have a sound mind, they'll be able to take some heavier weapons home with them. Like I was joking around with the fellow from out west who's a farmer. I says, well, hey, if you want to park a Leopard 2 tank in your barn, you get room for it. Hell, we'll provide it for you if you know how to use it, right? And that's no joke. I mean, spreading our military out is a good thing because we've got a huge land mass, and the more people in our nation that are trustworthy that have firearms, the better it is because there's less chance that we'll be overrun. There's a lot of different ways to wage war on people, and educating people is one of the number one things. Basically, national defense starts with a well-informed public. Okay, so that's what we got to do. We're going to teach people things about the economy so they can recognize the signs of communism. The worst sign there is interest charging banking. And then other than that, when people want to take away your speech rights and guns, that's another sign, right? It's a big deal. And when they groom your children for some greasy things that we won't say, that's damn it, man. That's total communism right there. That's just gross. Okay, we won't get into who does that right now. Like I said, I'm still on probation. I don't want to go to jail for hate speech for telling you what's what. Okay, it's terrible what we got in our country right now. Now we're going to deport 1 million people per year to help reduce homelessness, unemployment, and crime. And if you know what's going on in Canada, basically that's pretty much self-explanatory. We should probably start with anybody who's a member of the Conservative Party, the Liberal Party, the Green Party, the Bloc Québécois, or the NDP, who doesn't see the light after the next election. I'll try to re-educate these people, but they're doing a big disservice to Canada. They're actually a huge danger to us. These are the people that voted to re-elect people that use vaccines to kill us. They re-elected people that use police terrorism with violence to keep us quiet, just for speaking our minds. The police pointed loaded firearms at my wife's head, and that's not a good thing to do. Okay, right in the face. That's not nice. And it's just because I decided to oppose all these murders. All right, and as we found out, the Emergency Act was illegal. Right now, no one's going to jail for it. You elect me. A lot's going to happen, believe me. That whole thing with Trump and that swamp, that's crap. I'll straighten that swamp out, I promise, straight up. We're probably we're probably missing Mr. Poilievre's speech right now, but I'm not too worried. I think I'm just going to carry on and entertain you guys that are here. I think you'll like this more than what he's going to say, perhaps. We can always catch what he says tomorrow. I seem to be on a bit of a roll now, thanks to the encouragement from the people in the chat. We're going to use our new banking powers to fund the enhancement of the Canadian Armed Forces and the healthcare system backed by labor. Okay, so we're that the most valuable currency on earth can provide, and we're going to provide them with the most technologically advanced armaments that the most valuable currency on earth can buy. And hopefully Canadian minds can dream up these things, and we won't have to rely on others to design our weapons for us to defend ourselves. Okay, that's the thing. We have to be self-sufficient in the future if we want to, defend ourselves and not be reliant on others. Because when you're relying on others, basically they can be able to twist you into directions that you don't want to go into. So when you control your nation in its entirety, you won't be influenced by other people. You can choose to do what you want with a clear mind, and you won't have to do things that you don't want to do. All right. And the health system, we're going to enhance our healthcare system big time with this labor-backed currency. Remember, our currency is going to be worth more than gold, or what backs our currency is worth more than gold, this human labor. And, we're not going to pay people too much, but we're going to keep the doctors honest, but they will make a very, very good living. And their money will buy them much more than it will today. And their money won't devalue because we're not going to have interest rates devaluing currency. So people's bank accounts won't depreciate. A loaf of bread will cost the same what it does now, or well, after we reduce the price of it in the future, it won't go up. Put it that way. Pardon me, I said that very poorly. We are going to lower the cost of food and things like that. We lower the cost of gasoline. We remove interest rates in a society where everything runs on interest, like credit. When you take away the impossibility to pay things back and then inflation that interest charges, prices will fall. We'll make sure that the consumers get the benefit of those lower prices, and we won't let these people gouge any longer. So we'll get into some of these inflation reducing measures soon. I'm kind of speaking ahead of the platform points before they even come up. Okay, so basically we'll have the best healthcare system that money can buy, that the most valuable currency on earth can buy. That's it in a nutshell, after I said so many other things. Basically, treasury funded insurance backed by labor, and no cost for all drivers, homeowners, and business owners. Insurance has been a huge scam in Canada. I remember early on, back in the 90s, I think it was, they started, it was like some kind of a beta test down east. They pick on the down easters first, and they raise their interest rates to see how people would react, or their insurance rates. And then across, of course, the rest of the country followed, and they raised our interest or insurance rates, pardon me. They always make up excuses why they do this. There's no real reason to raise insurance rates in a country where I believe 80% of the burden for these insurance companies is basically covered by the government, so they don't have much of a risk. So we're going to fix that. We're going to take over the insurance industry in Canada. You won't have to pay anything. And your repair bills for your houses burning down, or your cars being crashed, or maybe you made a mistake as a contract and caused some damage, not willfully, of course, and you're skilled, just things do happen. Basically, at that point, insurance will kick in. You won't have to pay anymore, and your rates won't go up because there aren't any rates to pay. You shouldn't be terrified of driving just because you're afraid of your rates going up, and I don't think it's going to result in people being reckless. Okay, that's the thing. We'll teach people to be responsible. I know we have to re-educate people because the world we live in right now is just off the charts. And the way the media is right now, it's really giving people the wrong ideas on how to live. Canadians, I think, and most human beings are pretty decent people deep down inside, and we're gonna dig deep down inside and pull out that goodness out of people, and we're gonna get the best out of our population in the future. We're gonna really get people in Canada, and we're gonna reward them with a good standard of living. And this is one of those measures we won't have to pay to these insurance companies that have obviously been gouging us in the past. Okay, and they've made huge profits on our backs. The Canadian worker has been harmed greatly by these insurance companies. And number 10 is justice for victims of lockdowns, vaccines, and anti-speech laws. And we talked about that a bit. They've locked us down for no good reason. Okay, that was a lie. The vaccines weren't safe at all, and some of us knew ahead of time. We tried to warn others. Um, the next generation of heroes, I think, will be the people that found out that the vaccines were harmful, and they're going to help us to make political change. The first generation of heroes are obviously the people that refused it and took a lot of abuse from the people that didn't know at the time. Okay, so I believe in redemption. So good luck to all the people that took the vaccines. I mean, we'll try to make your life better with this healthcare system, but in the meantime, you can make sure this doesn't happen to other people. And if you're selfless, you'll help the Labor First Party to not just to register, but to win the next election. And we're going to need candidates as well. So if you're a vaccine victim, you go ahead and become a candidate if you'd like in our party. We're not going to make fun of you for what you did. Basically, we know what happened, and there's no point rubbing it in. If you know what you did wrong. Obviously, if people are still stuck with the program, I mean, you know, ridiculing those people is probably a good thing to do. Hopefully, it brings them back, or maybe we'll have to deport them, get them out of here, because we can't have people that are so slow that they're going to get us all killed. All right. So I do believe in redemption, and I've got a lot of respect for people that admit they're wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll try my best to realize that and admit it myself. After all, how can you progress if you don't realize you made a mistake? Just keep making it over and over again. So I will listen to the people I represent as well. If I'm doing something wrong and they're telling me, then I better consider what they're saying, not just to get reelected, but I'm here to do good. And we'll have to see what they're saying makes sense. I better do what they tell me to do, because I'm supposed to be an extension of their will, of your will. And we're going to ban abortion as a form of birth control for point number 11 on our platform. Basically, we've been convinced that it's okay to kill life inside of a woman, and we're going to protect unborn children. And that includes giving the baby a right to choose, and if someone wants to commit suicide in the future, they'll do that. But it's not for us to kill little unborn people. Those Canadians have a right to decide whether they're going to live or not. Okay. Now, if a woman's been violated, I mean, we will have a policy where she'll have a choice. The problem is that to prove that violation happened, and that might not be proven until after the baby's born. So it's almost a moot point. But we do give ladies the choice. But basically, like I said, it's not really practical. Chances are they'll never have an abortion. And me as a leader, I hope to never ever have an abortion performed legally under my representation of the public. It would just, even one dead child would make me sick. It would just be disgusting. It would ruin a lot of goods. So I don't think we'll ever have any abortions in Canada once you elect us to be your representatives. All right. Then number 12, bank bail-ins, or sorry, ban bank bail-ins. That means we're not going to allow banks to take your money if they claim to be going under. Your money is going to be yours, and we're going to give Canadians property rights to their bank savings. Right now, when you put your money in the bank, technically it's not your money anymore. That's completely wrong. The Canadian worker earned that money, and that money is their property. I don't even see how this could even be a thing, but it is. So we're going to change this. Canadians will have the right to their own earnings, to their savings. That's theirs. And you'll never, ever have to bail out a bank in this new banking system. You should never have to anyhow. Basically, if you set up a plywood table and ask people to pay you money out of their pay just by writing a number on a piece of paper, is what banking is right now. Basically, how can you go broke? It's all profit. All you're paying for is ink and paper, basically, right? It's unbelievable. So in the future, there's no way that you're going to be ever asked to bail out the National Bank. It's going to be strong as can be. And like I said before, we're truly going to lend you money. Pierre Poilievre wants to sell you money. He wants to sell you $10 for $20, right? That's not a loan, that's a sale with profit. And an impossible to pay sale as well. Like when you consider that everyone in the country can't pay this back. It's just insane. And it should be highly illegal in the future. It will be. And we're going to revisit the people that didn't tell you this, that harmed you. So politicians in the past are going to pay a price for doing you great harm. The amount of money that we've paid in interest, just since Mr. Trudeau's dad, Pierre Trudeau, brought in that banking system back in '74. And basically, there was always interest being paid on like mortgages, But when it came to capital expenditures for the nation, like big projects like the St. Lawrence Seaway and things like that, they used to just lend the money basically, or just like basically grant it and get jobs done. But ever since Mr. Trudeau's dad came in, Pierre Elliott Trudeau, he allowed the private banks to charge the government interest. And basically at that point, I think we've paid over $1 trillion in interest to these bankers. That money could have been used to do other things. It's just it's amazing how bad this system is. It's the worst thing ever. I think it was what caused Jesus to maybe get a little excited in the temple that one day and whip a few people and kick over a few tables. Okay, that's how bad it is. I like Jesus. I like what he did. I like how he posed certain people, but I don't know if he was the son of God. I don't want to have an argument with Christians, but I do respect the man greatly. He was fantastic, and unfortunately, he was tortured to death over 3 years or 3 days. And they brought in some measures across the country where if we say that, basically we're anti-spasmodic, we'll call it. I want YouTube to ban me. It's kind of silly. I'm trying to be your prime minister, yet I can't speak freely. In the future, we'll be able to name things, and we won't be going to jail for it. We'll be given rewards, if anything, for being brave. It's unbelievable. It's going to be a way of life, speaking our mind, not like it is now. And number 13 is to replace lockdown and anti-speech enforcers with a nationalist protection force. All these people, these terrorists and the police that did us great harm, we're going to replace them in the future, and they'll never be able to reoffend again. I promise you that right now. There's no way we're going to allow these people to ever reoffend. Okay, it can't happen. What we survived, and some people aren't going to survive the vaccinations. These vaccinations are like a slow tumbling bullet through your body. Right? They're tearing your heart apart. They're causing turbo cancer. It's just amazing what's going on. You've seen all the athletes just dropping dead on the field. These vaccines were definitely not safe, and it seems to be that they're engineered to reduce the population. Also, they've caused sterilization, so they prevented the reproduction of human beings, and this is entirely wrong. So the people responsible for that cannot be allowed to reoffend, and in the future, we're going to have nationalists protecting people from communists, and that's what we need in this country. And it's just amazing. Some of these laws that we have are just ridiculous. The drinking and driving law is insane, where they can come to your house 2 or 3 hours after you get home and charge you with impaired driving. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I don't want to die from getting hit by some drunk driver, but there has to be some kind of reasonable measures to allow people to enjoy themselves and not be unreasonable and convict them of things that they haven't done. If you're in your house and you got home sober from the liquor store and then you crack open a drink, I don't drink much myself, but if people want to drink, I mean, hey, if they haven't broken the law, why should they be harmed? And then this government is just imposing all these measures to walk back our freedoms so they can put us into 15-minute cities and install digital currencies. It's just another part of the wedge that they're driving into our society to harm us. And we're going to make things more reasonable in our nation. Like I said, we're going to have a high trust, low violence society in the future. If people can't participate in that, they'll be removed from society, be it in jail or deported or exiled, banished, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. But we don't want to have people here that are going to cause other people great harm. It can't be continued. Okay, this is a completely it's so wrong. Just be good to everybody out there, and we'll be good to each other. And I'll try to be a good leader here. I'll try to be a good representative of you guys, and I'll try to be a good friend to our American neighbors. It should be easy because I really like those folks quite a bit. They're nice. And number 14 is nationalize the globalist mainstream media agents to prevent NWO disinformation and subversion of an honest representation elected in good faith. Really, it's not a new world order. Basically, it's an Israeli world order that we're up against. Okay, you'll see that Mr. Trump works for Israel, and all these things that he's doing, like going into Venezuela, threatening Greenland, that's not for America. That's for Israel. Make no mistake about it. He helped the Israelis kill Palestinians and men, women, and children, and it's just disgusting stuff. Members of the United States Armed Forces are starting to figure out who did 9/11. And they're also starting to see that Mr. Trump is not doing a good job. And hopefully they'll mutiny and take the country back. But, they're going to have to figure out their finances. And hopefully they'll look to us for an example. Hopefully there's a lot of hope here. And I'm not selling hopium. What I'm proposing is real. But they can look to Canada for an economic example, or they can look to history if they're well versed on what the Germans did. And the Americans do have a lot more resources than the Germans did. So the American people can have a mirror image economy to ours or to the German one, but maybe not so much mirror image. It would be even better than the German one because, like I said, they've got the natural resources that the German people didn't have. And they can manage themselves quite nicely without having to go into debt to these Israeli bankers that are basically causing the deaths of people all over the world at the hands of the American military, who's the proxy military to Israel. And basically, American soldiers are also losing their lives there and body parts and coming back in pretty rough shape. And that's not a right-headed thing to do whatsoever. You never mistreat your veterans or misuse them. That's just a big, big no-no. All right, you never do that. And so we don't want these media agents to, harm our people by lying to them. So we're going to nationalize the media. Canada, I believe it was 2 times we've paid them $600 million. Our government has to lie to us. All right. So, hey, we've paid that much money. Looks like, in my opinion, and maybe in the opinion of Canadians, instead of paying the media to lie to us, maybe we bought the media. So when you elect me to be your prime minister and the Labour First Party to represent you, basically, like I said earlier today in a broadcast, if we paid for the pizza, folks, we're going to pick it up. It's ours now. So we're going to do that. We're going to get rid of all those dishonest media people, and they will never reoffend again. I make you that promise straight up. My word. We'll make gas 50 cents per liter to fuel our economic recovery and to reduce inflation. And that's what I plan on doing. And that should be just perfect for bringing back a lot of mom and pop businesses. Like up north, in Ontario, there's a lot of these little motels that had to be left abandoned. In the future, mom and pop businesses, that's just one example. Mom and pop businesses can come back because our cost of living will be down and it won't cost so much to keep things going, and they'll be prosperous. Also, your grocery bill will go down once the transportation costs are reduced, and coupled with the truckers not having to pay insurance anymore. That should help them to pass the savings on to people, and not having to pay tax means that the workers will have more of their money in their pockets. Plus, the supermarkets can pass the savings on to people, and we'll make sure all those savings on all those different levels are passed down to the people. Oh, and the big one is actually the interest rates. In a society that runs on credit, not having interest to pay not only makes it that we can pay our bills, but it means that things will cost less. So all those measures will help to reduce inflation in the future. I'm not sure how I'm competing with Mr. Polly, the big professional politician right now, but I'm pretty sure I'm smoking right now, and benefits to the Canadian public. I'll tell you that right now. And I'm more honest. I'm not going to. I'm not going to be able to compete. With these crooked people, basically, when it comes to being dishonest. These are far more ahead of me when it comes to being dishonest than I could ever be. All right, which I have no desire to be anyway whatsoever. So learning is labor, pardon me, and the labor of post-secondary students will back the creation of money to pay them to learn skills that will benefit Canada. Students will graduate with money in the bank, which will lower inflation. All right, so learning is labor, and students will earn their wages into existence by learning their wages into existence. All right, so you're not going to need to graduate with student debt anymore. And the students that have student debt right now, if you've already paid back the principal, we're going to forgive the rest of the debts. You're not going to be paying interest. We're not going to reimburse you for anything extra. But if you're still in debt, just pay back what you borrowed. You're not going to pay back anything else. It's just unreal. And maybe we'll even give you some credit for the time that you've gone to school. And we'll put that against your loan. So we'll give you some debt relief that way. It seems more fair. Like you went through the hard way to benefit our society. So maybe you should benefit from this new policy, even though that you went ahead of the fact, right? The students that come after the fact, after an election, will benefit. So why not give you some debt relief? It'll be better. It'll benefit you. You'll be able to put more money in the economy. We don't want to make debt slaves out of students. We want you guys to be productive and be happy. And we're going to benefit from all these skills that you've learned. In my old age, I won't be able to do what I've done when I was younger. So you young folks, you'll be pulling the weight for us, and we'll just be sitting back collecting our money, and you'll be the ones taking care of us in our old age. And we'll appreciate that. And you guys will be rewarded nicely with a good future if you do some work now, and you'll earn your own way, by the way. You're not really being given anything, just an opportunity. You're going to take advantage of that opportunity, and you're gonna run with it, and you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a lot better life here. We got to make sure we can always defend our country though, because we've got a lot of land mass, a lot of resources, and a lot of good people. We don't want to be enslaved again. Okay, so some people are going to have to join the armed forces and protect our people. So that's just the way life is. The law of the jungle, the law of nature. Might is right, unfortunately, and or might makes right, and it's the way the world works. And that Canadians, Aboriginal people will be glad to know that the white people that live here with them makes their countries, the ones that we share with them, the most technologically advanced countries in the world, which means that we'll be able to defend ourselves. And Canada's Aboriginal people will never ever be subjugated again. There's no law against an Aboriginal person becoming the prime minister, so you're not under anybody's boot. You're not under control. Basically, you're taking a full measure of life in Canada. You're not being subjugated whatsoever. All right, so that's the end of that. And we're going to live as one nation, one people, with one law, and that's how it's going to be in the future. All right, so we're going to have a good time. And last but not least, reassess credit card debt to provide relief for victims of compound interest. And that goes along with our general policies of bringing economic relief to the Canadian people at a time that they're going to need them. Now, there's other things that we don't talk about on this platform, and those things include getting out of the United Nations. We don't want to be part of the United Nations, so we don't want to be subjugated by other people. And I don't see Mr. Paul Yu speaking yet, so that's pretty much it. So that's it, everyone. Basically, I don't think I want to wait for him, unless you guys want to speak some more. Thank you very much, Christopher. My eyes aren't the best. Christopher Lair, 2742. Thank you very much for your compliment on the platform. It's really nice that you approve of that. And someone else says, Derek Winters, 8566 says hi. You guys in the chat, if you want to ask me some questions while you're here, I'll spend some time. I don't mind. It's been a positive experience. It's great to talk to you guys. I'm not sure if this will even save. I hope it does. All right, so it's my first time doing a live stream here. It looks real grainy on my little camera here. I'm just going to slide this way to get in the center of the shot. So if anybody wants to ask me anything, please do. I'll hang out here for a few more minutes, but I hope you've it looks like you guys have been entertained nicely. And I'm not sure how many people watched this. I'll have to check out the numbers. I don't know where to look on the screen to see who. Oh, it says 3 people, 2 people are there. One person gives me a thumbs up. I'm not sure what this is. But basically, we've been going for about an hour or so. And I can really talk, I suppose. I didn't really mean to go so long. I don't know, even sure if Mr. Paul even spoke tonight. He didn't come in on time, so we weren't going to wait for him. Oh, here we go. Would there be any sort of tax forgiveness for families with multiple children? Tax forgiveness? Basically, there won't be any tax in the future. Now, if you've incurred some kind of tax because of the tax system that we have now, I could see giving you some forgiveness on that, because the tax system is completely unfair right now. We want people to have children in Canada because we need Canadians, and we don't want to import all of our people because, we want people to grow up in our culture. Some people do assimilate, but it's best to raise them right here, right from the ground up, right? So, yeah, I could see doing something like that. If you have any kind of specific suggestion, please let me know, and I'll be able to address that even better. It's a very general question, but I'm all here to help the Canadian people. And like I said, when we take control of the printing of currency, we also control the debt, and we don't really need taxation any longer. So why not? I mean, if we give debt relief in other ways, why not tax relief? It's a form of debt, isn't it? And that would help you to put more money into the economy. So that's it. No one's like a tax cheat. We don't want to reward the wealthy people that have been cheating the tax system. But if you're just a regular person, yeah, I don't see why there would be any reason to ask you for any more income tax whatsoever. Even back taxes, I'm not too worried about that right now. We got more important things to worry about. And put it this way, I don't want to lose an election over it. So if it'll help people elect me, then damn it, I'm going to do it, man. That's winning. It means everything. Right now, these people are trying to subjugate us in the worst way. So if we can bring tax relief to the Canadian people and it helps them to elect us, that's what we're going to do. So yeah, I'll definitely work with you on that. And if you want to send me basically a membership form, if you want to go to the Labor First, it's laborfirst.ca is the website. And if you can go to where it says memberships and fill out the membership form, and mail it to the address, that'll help us greatly. And if you want to support the cause, I mean, it's going to benefit you greatly. And in the future, once we get established as a party and we register, and then we'll start taking donations. There's no point up until then because there's nowhere to spend the money, and I'm not gonna. I want to work my way through an income tax system here by incurring some kind of a tax burden that I don't know about, right? So gifts are fine, but I'm I'm getting by, and so don't worry about giving me any money. So I'd rather just see people join the party, fill out the membership form, mail it to us, please. If we have 250 members or more, we're going to wait for maybe 300. Then we'll send the package away to Elections Canada for approval. And then hopefully we can be a registered party by the next election. And if you really want to, please become a candidate. I prefer that over money because we do need bodies more than we need money right now. Money, like sending me a bunch of money would benefit me, yes, but it wouldn't advance the national cause much. We need people. We need people power more than money power. I know money wins elections, but if people get behind this, they can make their own signs at election time. It would be nice to see homemade signs win this election and not a bunch of foreign money coming in here and swaying people's minds and their opinions. So a homemade election win would be pretty neat. A lot of handmade signs, a lot of artistic people in our country too. And if they put a sign in their front lawn, Leslie voted for Prime Minister or Labor First, a Labor First promotional sign, that would be a great thing. And it would be nice. It'd be heartwarming to see that kind of thing. And it would really drive our members to work harder for you. When the people get behind us, it'll be an exponential reward for the people. Even if we get to the point where people can donate money, the Elections Canada allows you to donate $1,500 per year to any party. And when you think about the benefits that you'll get, it's a good investment because you'll get that money back almost certainly. If you're a homeowner, just the property tax that you'll save on will get you, that'll pay back your investment in every year easily. If you're not paying, most people pay more than $1,500 a year for their property tax. In the future, we won't have property tax. You'll own your own home outright. You'll have free homeowners insurance on your house. And obviously, you're not paying rent to a municipality any longer. So that is your home. And no one's taking that away from you, all right? That's the thing. So what are ways that Canada and America can work together and get along? Well, I suggested in a video that what we can do, apart from being the protector of America's northern border, we're going to deport a lot of people that are a potential threat. We've got a lot of military-age males from other countries here right now, and I suspect those are actually UN troops. So we're going to get rid of a lot of those people. Plus, we're going to get rid of the people that keep electing the Zionist type of leadership that we have. We're going to be Canada's only non-Zionist party. So we're not going to be working for Israel. So that's one good benefit for America. We're not looking to do them harm. And another thing is that we're going to sell Americans gas at the price that Canadians pay to help them with their economic recovery, as well as groceries. We're going to sell the products of Canadian farmers to Americans at the Canadian price. Now, that's initially to start. Once, if their inflation runs away with them, they keep printing interest-free currency, the price might go up a little bit to reflect that. But what's going to happen is that American money that's coming into Canada is going to be reinvested into America, not to build America so much, but to buy the things that Canada needs to basically retool itself and to fix our manufacturing base. So we're going to be buying an awful lot of American goods instead of goods from China. So we're going to benefit America by being a great big customer to them. And we're going to also, basically sell them things at a reduced price at the Canadian price, which should be less than the American price. I'm not going to want to walk all over American manufacturers, but there's certain things that Americans need to live. They need food and they need fuel to drive, and these are basic necessities of life. And if the American government makes things so expensive that the Americans can't buy them, we're going to benefit the American people more than their own government will. And then in the future, when the Americans elect a proper government and follow our economic example, basically we'll be working at par with the Americans, so they won't be relying on Canadian gas and Canadian farmers' goods. And by then, the Canadian people should have recovered economically, I'd hope. And the farmers can just go on selling goods to Canadians and people all over the world that can trade them for other things. Because our currency probably won't be accepted by the Rothschilds type countries because, they'll try and shun us, I'm sure. So the American people will benefit from a real friendly neighbor who's going to try and share economic prosperity with us, and they're going to share their manufacturing goods with us when we spend the money back into America that the Americans have paid us for our goods. I think that's a pretty good deal. And I love the American people, the good ones, and I know what their heart is. And right now, what's going on in this world doesn't really reflect what America really is. It's unbelievable. Um, so I hope that answers your question, Christopher Laird, 2742, and thanks very much. This is fantastic. If there's any more questions, I'd be glad to to answer them. Oh, here's another one. It is so refreshing to hear you speak about unity at every opportunity instead of divisive nonsense current politicians are saying. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. I'm learning what these little abbreviations mean as well. Yeah, it's what normal people would do, and I'm definitely a normal person. The people that run our countries, they act. They're actors, and basically they're working for the Israeli world order, and that's the bankers. Okay, and basically they're meant to create conflicts. They're meant to create controlled opposition groups to divide people. The last thing they want to do is have decent people that are just regular people, and we just want to be good to each other, and that's basically what it is. You know, that's why I got into politics at the beginning. Once I found out about the banking system, I saw that there's a chance to make some real changes in our country instead of just boutiquing different tax breaks to people and disadvantaging others while advantaging others. It's a terrible way to be. And it took a number of years for me to actually extrapolate and figure out what a lot of these advantages could be. I mean, I had to overcome the lies myself, the same lies that people believe on television. So I had a learning curve myself, and I'm not done learning, and I never will be. Let's hope, right? Hopefully it's only when my life expires that I'm done learning, and in this life anyhow. So we'll see if there's another one out there, but we'll see what happens. So it's nice that you're commenting so nicely here. Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure for my first live chat or live broadcast. I call this a success already. It's a shame to shut her down. I'm not in a real hurry to do so. But if anybody else has any questions to ask me, I'd be glad to answer them. Yeah, I'm not sure. Is that just 3 people watching right now? Perhaps I'm not sure, but it could be. But yeah, that was a pretty good deal, and I'll call this a success. And in the future, I'd like to do some more of this kind of thing. Hopefully, well, at least I got to share the screen with you today. That was pretty good. And I hope you got a chance to see it. I'm not sure how it looks. So when I replay this, if I even saved it, I'm not sure how this is going to work. Basically, I hope it went well. I mean, it seems like you guys really enjoyed the talk today. So it's well worth it, even for a few people. It's good to do this. Please spread the word as well. We really need a lot of people to get involved. People power is going to work, going to change this, and that's how it's going to go. And thank you very much, Fiona Cube, 8752. Thank you, Mr. Future Prime Minister. Fantastic job, she said. And thank you very much. It's a real pleasure, guys. Maybe I'll let you guys go right now. Like I said, I'm not in a real hurry. If you've got other questions, I'll stick around for another few minutes and to see if anything pops up. I set the timer, or there's a timer for like I was in a hurry to get on because I was cutting it close. I was watching a movie, and I didn't want to miss the date that I told people that I'd be on here at, and I didn't set the timer at like 1 second between comments. So it's going to be a minute at a time where you can make your comments. So I'll keep that in mind and wait a bit. I'm really enjoying myself, by the way. I really like your encouragement, and that's what drives me forward. Is this kind of encouragement? So this is fantastic. And are those? There's crowns. I'm not sure what that means. Are those super chats? I'm not sure. Oh, it's top fans. I'm not sure if that means if you're donating. Well, thank you very much. I don't even know how to extract the donations if that's what that is. So I don't even know what that means. My eyes aren't the best right now. Let's see if my glasses gone. Here's the glasses I had in jail. The arms broke off them. They're $4 worth, but they still work. Let's see. Number one, number 2. Okay, I'm not sure what that is, but yeah, that's good. Like I said, I don't even know how to handle a super chat on YouTube before. I almost forgot, everyone. FTJ Media. There's a new media platform out there. It's called ftjmedia.com. I almost forgot to plug it. I feel ashamed of myself if I forgot to mention it to you. It's really good. Basically, it's a non-Zionist platform, we'll call it. They want to free the world from the bankers. I'll say it like that because I'm on YouTube. So if you like, if you like that kind of thing, or if you're interested, get in there and check it out. Some of the folks speak a little bit coarsely, right? So it's made for a more dissident audience. But when my channel fires up, we'll have talks like this. and with this kind of a tone and this kind of a flavor, we'll say. So it should be more acceptable to a broader audience, I think, and it's good. But the people there are very, very good people, outstanding people, and they're taking on some of the most dangerous people in this world, and they're doing a good job at it. And you'll see what I mean if you go there. They're fantastic. I really like them very much, and so I recommend that people go to ftjmedia.com, and I'll put that in when I get a chance to revisit this the description here after the video is over, if it's even saved. What I'll do is I'll put ftjmedia.com in the description. I'll also put the show More of Less. It's on Dave Gahari's channel, and I'm on there on Fridays from 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time till noon Eastern Standard Time. And when I'm finished my probation period, which is March 10th, after that I'll take over the show myself, and hopefully it'll be as interesting as when I'm with Dave. I doubt it though, because he's a pretty interesting fellow. He's an intelligent guy. He's the one that pretty much helped to found that platform. Dave used to be a journalist a long time ago, like a proper journalist, like a reporter. And also he served on a nuclear submarine, which is very interesting. He's a submariner, a former submariner on the USS Skate, a nuclear-powered submarine. So that's kind of neat. It's right out of Tom Clancy, this guy. Right, he is. He's a super nice fellow too. He's helped me a lot. And when I was in jail, he used to write to me, and I talked to him on the phone, and we do podcasts from jail sometimes. It was kind of funny. So I got the word out to the people there as well. So my mouth's getting a little bit dry here. Yeah, thank you all very much. And so if there's no more, maybe we'll shut it down for the night, and maybe I'll schedule a regular time on YouTube as well. And maybe I'll couple my broadcasts on FTJ Media with this YouTube as well on Friday mornings. But also maybe I'll pick an evening to speak to you guys on YouTube that are more YouTube followers than on FTJ. But I recommend you telling your friends to go to visit ftjmedia.com and check out the different people. There's all kinds of different presenters, content creators. There should be something for everyone on there. You might go to some place, you might like real spicy stuff and just have a good laugh and see some good-hearted content from people who really want to make a difference. And there's other people that have more of a mild presentation there, where they'll give you some good content as well, and you'll learn a lot about the world. There's a lot of intelligent people on that network. And the chats are very good. The people in the chat seem to be very, very, very thoughtful people, and they do screen the chats. But you don't have to sign in if you don't want. You can just observe it. You can read the chat and see what it is. And Frank Fiona Cube 8752 gave me I know what that means. She gave me an 07, which is a salute, and an O slash right back at you, Cube. Fiona Cube 8752. And I really hope I'm reading your name correctly. Big high five to you. Big Bellamy salute, whatever you want to call it. Big Roman. I don't mind throwing a Roman. It seems to be fun to throw Romans. I don't do it to bother the enemy. I just do it as a sign of respect, and it's fun. It's a sign of friendship between like-minded people. It's fantastic. I think it's kind of funny when I see non-whites do it too. It's a sign of unity for humanity. Definitely, we're here to save the white race from extinction, but also the rest of the world. There's no doubt about it. I like a lot of people in this world, and a lot of them are white, but not all of them. Let me tell you, it's a pretty good thing to be helping humanity. You really feel good about yourself. The enemy wants to put me in jail for 7 years, so I've already served 3 years worth of time. So, these terrorist groups out there, these Zionist terrorist groups, the ones, they don't like us speaking our minds because they want to do great harm to us. And I'm on the other team. I'm on Team Canada. I'm on Team Humanity. So go team. All right, guys, let's beat these guys, these bankers. What a bunch of weasels, eh? Oh, we're going to do it. And you really encouraged me to continue. Thank you very much. I consider this a great success. So big 07 to you guys out there, and a big O slash. Let's get this thing into this camera here. There we go. There's big Roman for the whole team. All right, everyone. This is so good. So you guys have a really good night, and then I'll shut her down for now. And like I said, I'll continue on with this. You've encouraged me. Thank you very much. That's how this works. And all the best to you people out there. And remember, please go to ftjmedia.com and check out the different things to watch there. I'm on Giuseppe's show on his channel on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from between 1 and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there's some kind of weird icons floating up in the side there. I'm not sure where they're coming from. Oh, it's hearts and things like that. That's interesting. Maybe someone's sending me that message. I'm not sure how this works. And I'm on Dave Gahari's channel on the show is called More of Less. It's on Friday mornings from 10 a.m. till 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, everybody have a very good day out there. I'm going to head her out and call it a night, and I'll see how this went, see if it recorded or not. I hope it did, all right? So you guys, all the best to all of you. All right, good day. A big Roman. See you guys. All right, good day.